Hi guys, it's Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft. Okay, the Tom Brown tracker knife has got a lot of response on my videos, and I've got a lot of comments and private questions and stuff like that. And we've talked about it in a couple of videos now. But what we're going to talk about today is how the design could be changed. I'm not necessarily going to say improved, because knife evolution, knife improvement is usually for a specific purpose. So if I need a gut hook because I'm doing a certain type of work and I do it a lot and I wanted a gut hook, that's an improvement for me. It may be in the way for you. So an improvement of a design is kind of like, you know, everybody sharpens a pencil the same way, but they like it a different way. Everybody's got their own personal preference, their own personal usage of it. Now, as I've said, this is my clone of the Tom Brown basic design. I'm about to show this up close in just a minute. But this is the basic design that Tom came up with. I have two other knives here that I want to discuss design and things like that with this. Let me adjust the camera and we're going to talk about it, okay? Stay with me. Okay. Be right back. Now, here's the basic Tom Brown design. It has a relatively short handle, relatively wide blade, this inset reduction, this scooped back, a straight edge with some sort of saw or teeth pattern up here, okay? Basic design. This varies in size, length, thickness, and what these teeth pattern look like, but it's the basic design. Now, if you eliminated this and just made it straight edged like that, it would be a great big broad blade knife. You know, think of like a slim tapered handle on a Hudson Bay camp knife. Saddleback, which like I said, is good for processing as a fleshing tool, etc., does have its usage. Now, another design that I use a lot is the Kukri Design. Now, the Kukri Design is a good deal different from the Tom Brown design in that it's weight forward of a straight grip. And if you look at it, it's straight from this point back and then slotted from there. But the basic idea of this area here and this area here are very similar. The big weight chopping forward is taken up on the Tom design by this big area here. It's more shorter and compact. Now, several years ago on Himalayan Imports website on Blade Forums, this discussion got going about modifying a Kukri design to look more like a Tom Brown design. And what evolved out of that was a type of Kukri called a pen knife. And I understand that Himalayan Imports still makes it. And basically, if you look at it, it will be this type of design, but it will come straight back. There won't be this reduction. You'll have this straight edge, but it'll be right here versus this reduction in width right there. Now, does that improve it? The Kukri is always going to be a better chopper. But the Kukri's limitations are it's a big, bulky chopper. It's like a tomahawk or a hatchet. Yes, it can be used up here for fine carving and stuff, but it takes a greater amount of skill to use this. It's like using an axe for the job. It can be done, but the user has to have a greater amount of skill to do it. Tom's design, as I pointed out, is a very good game processing tool. It's okay for shelter building, but it will never outdo a real hatchet or a Kukri as a chopper. But for game processing, it's a very good design. Now, a gentleman that I talked to quite a bit, his name is William Collins. And William is a custom knife maker. And we get onto a YouTube chat a couple times a month, and we discuss various things. And in the discussions of it, he talked about his design. which is a sort of a take on the Tom Brown design. And he was very nice to send it to me to let me look at it. Now, this is a proof of concept knife, a prototype. He's not actually in the market to start making Tom Brown knives. What we're discussing here is the concept of improvements, changes, how knives can evolve, and etc. The design is what we're looking at. Now, if you notice, his knife is not really but about like 2 inches longer, but the size of the handle is greatly larger, and this reduction area is beveled. Woo! Sorry. It's also a tough knife. This reduction area is actually beveled only from one side. So it was slotted in from this way, so this edge of the knife is still flat. This edge has all the cut to it. That has some distinct advantages. Now I'll get to those in a minute. He comes more to a point here than the Tom Brown design. And I think that is an advantage, and if I had a weakness of this design, it's the fact you don't have a true point like this. It's enough for me to pierce into the belly of a fish or something like that, but it's off the center axis, kind of. I mean, the center axis of the knife, when you line it up, is really this, and so it's kind of an awkward shaped design for that, for some sort of piercing, twisting. Williams' knife has got a true point to it, and it's made out of much better steel than this Chinese import. But the handle, he's gone with the idea, kind of like the Kukri, of allowing the weight of the knife to do the work. So he's got multiple choke points here, because with the Kukri, when you go to chop, you loosely hold it, and right here is where you kind of grip it, and you allow the knife, the weight of the knife, to do the work. Very effortless. With this knife, he's done the same thing. You grip here, and you can chop with the knife, if that's what you want to do. But he's also got it where you can choke up on the knife to do detail work, right up here on the upper part of the knife, hook your thumb over, so you can get in here and do precise work, especially with this edge, to right here and do precise work with it. And that's a real, I think, evolution of the design in many ways. The tracker design, I can choke up on it, but I'm going to call this, for sake of an argument, guys, the chisel edge. Chisel edge is kind of limited like that. You know, if it was just a straight edge from there forward, it'd be much more of a knife. But this reduction and this chisel edge on it makes it a little awkward for doing certain cutting and you know, precision type tasks. Williams is much more ergonomic in that, and this way he's beveled this, where you can hook your finger over and put your thumb up here on the back and actually do like a straight knife. Notice how this counterbalances this, and it cuts better this way and this way. Now, I just got this from William day before yesterday, and I played with it just a little bit. He's going to let me do a little bit of an eval on it just to do it. Now, again, William is not looking to make these knives for sale. This is a prototype concept knife. But we're looking at the design. Now, the thing that I remember from Himalayan imports was they broadened and shortened this part of a Kukri, more like that, and made the point more upswept like that. And then this edge was straightened out. Now, if you'll go to the Himalayan import site and look up penknife, and I will try to include a picture at the end of this video of it, you'll get an idea of how that evolved or changed. But each one does a specific job. This is a wood processor, a hatchet. This is actually a game processor, in my humble opinion. I know there's a lot of guys out there ain't going to agree with that, but for me and my woods and what I do, this is a good game processor, processing hides and etc. This from William, Callahan. Woo! Get out of here, boy. Cow killer bites snot out of you. This knife is trying to take the best of both of these knives and make it into one knife. It balances well in the hand, especially up here at the front. You can, like I said, you can choke up on it, and get a precision grip on it for doing work. This bevel up here is not quite as ulued like the Tom Brown design and Tom's design of choking up and doing this for filleting, especially for like processing meat into jerky and stuff like that. That's a good way to do that. Williams' design's got more of a point, and you can do that, but it's a little more of a straight edge here. If this was a little more curved, it would actually do better as a skinner, in my humble opinion. Again, I'm not in any way criticizing William. It's a prototype knife. It's a concept knife that he's working with. So that's the basic idea. Oh, and the sheath. This is the sheath that William sent with it, and it does fit, but it's going to take a big man to tote that knife. This is a belt loop Cheyenne style knife that goes in the belt and etc. A knife this big, I would have to carry it on some sort of looper dangler, for me personally. It's a very nice piece of leather, and this is a high quality piece of steel, and William has done an excellent job with this, even though this is basically a, you know, like I said, a proof of concept knife. It's not what he would sell as a production knife. I'm sure he would do, this would be crude by his standards, but it's a very nice knife. It feels good in the hand. It's got a good, piercing ability. I wouldn't feel unarmed with it. I put it to you that way. But then again, what if, like I mentioned with this, that was not there? What if you had a chisel edge, but it was along that line? It didn't reduce in and put this Tom Brown step in. What if it was straight? And you just had two bevels from here up. Let's say it was a Scandi, and from here back it was beveled. Now, what advantage does that bevel have? You know, on a wood chisel, you have that bevel that if you put it where the bevel is going down, it digs in, and if you put it where the bevel's up, it slides straight and up. I believe that's what this would work in wood, and I'm going to try it out in a few minutes and we'll find out. But I think that's what this would do really good, so that if I push straight into wood with that bevel facing basically up, it would plane flat and be able to plane wood, and if I turned it over and bared down into it, it would cut into wood. So, that's just my 2 cents. I don't think that was the design intention, but looking at it, I think it worked that way. Okay, let me shift the camera. Okay, guys. Be right back. That's my little 2 cents worth. A concept knife. What do you think? Do you think that the Tom Brown design, and I mean, I'm not trying to insult anybody. If you like the knife, say what you like about it. Everybody has a preference. Now, my Kukri is the do-all, get-all done knife for me. And I could sit there and sing the praise of that knife for 2 days. But that's because of my experience. A lot of people like the Tom Brown knife. A lot of people with a lot of experience like the Tom Brown knife. And what we're looking at is, what are the virtues of the design? And could they be improved, tweaked to bring it out to even better? Or should it be backed up a little bit and maybe, I don't know, we need to deepen this. Here's why. This should be, here's why. Like I said, the Tom Brown knife has saw teeth up here. I like these square notches better because it's better as a fish scaler. My personal preference. Please leave your comments, your suggestions, whatever, in the comment box. Let's see what ideas we can come up with. I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.